Martin Lappin with Alternative Heating Solutions. And if you're wondering how to install a Ranco, so you only need one thermostat for your wood boiler, this is how you do it. This is the 111000, which is just a single relay. Runs off 110, which I tie into the boiler breaker, so in the spring you shut the boiler down, this shuts down. And what we have, that's a piece of 3 conductor thermostat wire. The white goes under your common terminal. Then the green goes under normally open. And the red's under normally closed. And what that does, the white is tied into your thermostat now. When the water temperature is warm enough, instead of energizing the W terminal on the furnace, it's going to turn just the fan on, which is your green wire. If the water temperature is low, the red wire goes back to the furnace and it's tied into the original W connection, so your heat kicks on. And I'll show you in the furnace here. This one doesn't have the terminal strips. This is the electric furnace. And here's the white from the original thermostat upstairs. That's the white going to the Ranco. Then it comes back and I put a piece of white tape on it. The red goes to the white wire, or W terminal if you have a terminal strip, and the green goes to green for the fan. It's pretty simple, at the same time pretty elegant. You don't need a whole lot of extra stuff to make this work, and I will show you the programming in a second. And what I do, and I'm sure someone will want to argue with this, is I leave them set on cool, which is the C1. That way when they reach the set point of 140, it switches the relay, which turns on just the fan. If you do it differently, it'll have to be energized all summer too, so your furnace runs normally. If you use it on cool and the probe goes bad, your furnace will still run normally. If the unit itself dies, you'll still have heat from your regular supply, where it be gas or whatever. And you don't need to keep this energized all summer either, which is the reason I do it for cool. I'll go in the trailer and I'll show you how you add central AC to this if you need to. And what we have here is the Ranco model 211000. The one in the house is a 111000. All this is it has 2 relays and 2 set points. And normally I do not bring the wire in the same connection I would run the juice. I normally drill a hole in the side or the bottom and bring it in. And like you've seen in the house on your one, that one's now connected to the W terminal coming from the white wire coming from your thermostat. This one goes back to the furnace and is hooked to where the white one from your thermostat was. And the center one, of course, the green, goes back to the G terminal or the fan connection. And what happens is when it's hot, it switches. So the signal from the white wire comes in, goes to the G, goes back to the fan. If it's the shoulder season, or the boiler goes out, or the water gets cold, this trips back to its normal state, and the red wire feeds the normal W connection in your furnace, which means you're going to burn gas or oil or whatever. And this other terminal block, it is different. The common's in the center. Normally closes still to the left. And what happens on some furnaces is when it's the white feeding the G or the fan, it'll back feed the compressor control wire, and your AC will try to start in the dead of the winter. And there's 2 trains of thought here. Some say just flip your breaker off to the AC. Just make sure you turn it on several days before you plan on running it. Other people say never ever turn off your breaker to the AC, because there's heaters in the compressor keep the oil warm. If the oil gets cold, it could separate. I just do it this way. That way the homeowner can change the thermostat later if they want, not have to worry about it. And what I do with the probe, since I use copper on my flat plates, this goes to the connection coming from the boiler. A little bit of thermal grease and some of the foil tape, tape it tight. The other nice feature here is these are lockable. You get it programmed where you want it, lock it. Then put the cover back on. That way if you got little kids or even not so little kids that just can't avoid playing with buttons, it won't get changed. And you could use this for a heat pump too. Use one relay to break your Y connection so the compressor don't try to start. Then you use the other one to break the emergency heat or backup heat or heat strips or whatever yours is called. And you killed two birds with one stone there, but it'll still run as normal if the water temperature drops. This has been Martin Lappin with Alternative Heating Solutions. If you find our videos helpful in the least, please subscribe to our channel. And as always, if the women don't find you handsome, at least they can find you handy.